In the 6th and 8th verses of Surah Tur of the Holy Quran, Allah said,
"And certainly to the overflowing flaming sea, the punishment of your Lord will surely come to pass. There is nothing that can turn it back."
This verse speaks of the sea overflowing and flaming. This verse has been translated in different ways. El-Malala Hamdi Yazir has translated,
"And the boiling sea that is heated and boiled."
In Fi Zilal il-Quran, this verse is given as,
"And the boiling sea."
Muhammad Asad has translated it as,
"Think of the surging sea."
Jalal Yildirim translates it as,
"And by the sea that swells constantly."
Nuri Öztürk translates it as,
"And by the sea that boils and foams with flames."
Abdulbaki Gül Pınarlı translates it as,
"And by the raging, rushing, surging sea."
and Ahmet Hulusi translates it as,
"And by the ocean of waves that swells and overflows."
It is clear from this verse that hell has a sea that is boiling with flames, bubbling and foaming, ignited to a fiery and overflowing state, and ultimately rippling. The Sea of Hell, where these events take place, is the great ocean of hell. In the 6th verse of Surah El-Takvir, Allah said,
"When the seas will be set ablaze or filled to overflowing."
In Tafhim ul-Quran, this is how this verse is translated.
"When the seas are ignited."
Suleiman Atesh has translated it as,
"When the seas are boiled."
El-Malala Hamdi Yazir has translated it as,
"And the seas are set on fire."
and Abdulbaki Gül Pınarlı has translated it as,
"And the seas swell."
This verse speaks of the seas of hell that are on fire, ignited, boiling, blazing, burning, overflowing, and surging. These events are taking place in the seas of hell. As we know from verse 6 of Surah El-Tur, these events also occur in the ocean of hell, which is the one unified sea of hell. That is to say, hell has both an ocean and seas. And events such as boiling, bubbling, foaming, waving, surging, and overflowing are taking place in them. Imam Ahmad narrates from Ya'la bin Umayyah that the Prophet said, "The sea is hell." Ibn Jarir narrated from Sa'id ibn Musayyab, who narrates from Hazrat Ali, that a man from the Jews asked, "Where is hell?" He replied, "It is the sea." Ali said, "He spoke the truth." Then he continued with these verses,
"And the raging sea which will boil, that the punishment of your Lord will surely come to pass."
And Ali concluded with these verses,
"When the seas are on fire, when their waters recede and spew fire in volcanoes."
Sa'id ibn Abi, the brother of Hassan el-Basri, said, "The sea is one of the layers of hell." This is what Qadi Abu Ya'la said about the verse,
"And the seas are on fire."
in the commentary of Abu Bakr el-Marwazi on some verses that Imam Ahmad had commented on it. What is meant here are the seas of the hell layer. As for the verse,
"And by the raging sea,"
he said, what is meant here is hell. Musmir bin Asim said, I, Abdul Aziz bin Suleiman, Kilab bin Jerry, and Suleiman el-Araj stayed overnight on a beach. They were all crying, but I did not know what made them cry. Then I asked Abd el-Aziz, O Abu Muhammad, what made you cry? He replied, I looked at the waves of the sea. They were growing wider and wider. I remembered the sea layer of hell. That is what made me cry. Ibn Wahib narrated from Yahya bin Abdullah, Abu Abdurrahman bin Hablid, that Abdullah bin Amr said, there are beaches in hell. On these beaches there are snakes and scorpions whose necks are like the necks of camels. Ibn Abi Dunya and others report through Mujahid that Yazid ibn Shahjaran said, in hell there are shores like the shores of the sea, and on those shores there are wells, scorpions like mules, snakes like camels, and owls. When the inhabitants of hell ask for a little relief from the torment, they are told, go to the shore. When they reach the shore, these owls will grab them and tear them to pieces. So they quickly flee in the direction of the fire. What is the fiery boiling ocean of hell and the seas of one of the layers of hell and the seashores with wells? The boiling sea of hell, which is flaming and raging, is one of the 7 layers of hell. It is clear from the 7th verse of Surah al-Mulk that hell boils in a manner similar to the boiling of liquid in a cauldron heated from below. And when it boils, particles are produced like the foam in boiling water. We have observed the same kind of boiling of hell on the sun. After the convection zone that heats and boils the photosphere of the sun from below, the granulation of the photosphere covers the entire surface of the sun. The visible surface of the sun is literally boiling, and there are swells, bubbles, ripples. The photosphere looks like a raging, flooding, boiling ocean of liquid. The strong winds blowing in the solar atmosphere make this ocean flooding and boiling. Granules are the special waves of this ocean on the surface of the sun. So the flaming sea layer of hell is the photosphere, the boiling ocean layer of the sun. This infernal sea has its own special waves and foam, granules. The verses mention that there are both oceans and seas in hell. The whole boiling sea layer of hell is the photosphere, the boiling ocean of the sun. And this oceanic layer of the sun is the entire oceanic layer of hell. So the only boiling sea of hell is its photosphere ocean. So what are the seas and shores of hell? The solar photosphere consists of neon gas in a liquid that covers the entire surface. The spots, the cold regions of the sun's photosphere, are formed in this ocean like islands. The continents and islands, which are the Earth's land surface, float in the oceans, moving a few centimeters a year, like a piece of wood floating on water. Like these islands, sunspots float at the level of the photosphere in the ocean of solar plasma. The spots are comparable in volume to the size of planets and are held in place by magnetic fields in the photosphere ocean, the bright surface of the Sun. The boiling oceanic waters that surround these islands the size of planets are the seas of these islands. And where these seas meet the islands are the seashores of the islands. These Earth-size islands of the Sun are wells thousands of kilometers deep. In other words, the dark spots are islands with wells in the ocean of the photosphere, and the granules and waves of the seas hit these beaches and pour into these wells. On the basis of what has been said, it can be concluded that the seashores of Hell, which are the regions with wells, are the regions surrounding the stains that occur like islands in its ocean. The seas of these coasts are the seas that are the boiling waters surrounding these islands.